What is up, people? How's it going? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We got another episode for you guys, but it's a little different. Hope all you guys are doing well. It's actually a great, beautiful Monday where I'm chilling at. I hope it's as equally a great, beautiful Monday where you guys are chilling at. But yeah, today's another episode on the Talkin Loud podcast. And guess what? We're going to discuss everything dank, sticky, icky, gassy, and all that good stuff. But today, I got a very special guest because that guest is myself. And I'm actually going to have a live stream with you guys. So we're doing it a little bit differently for this episode. But I really just wanted to, just have an episode where we dig into autoflowers and just sort of, shoot from the hip and any questions that you guys can ask. I'm gonna answer it, but also I noticed that a lot of people out here have been growing with autoflowers lately. A lot of people have been trying out the autoflowers, and I just wanted to give it a little bit of a try. So I figured, heck, why not have an autoflower episode on the Talking Loud podcast where we can just dig into autos. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Today is going to be a great autoflower day, and we're just going to run through a lot of different stuff about autos because a lot of different stuff are literally hitting the market, a lot of different breeders, and a lot of different things you guys may run into. I know I've run into my fair share of stuff, so I'm just going to share some of those with you guys today. But since it's a live episode, most definitely, of course, we're going to be smashing a few bowls. We're going to be ripping a few bongs. We're going to be doing all that good stuff. And did you guys like that intro? We had a little bit of a different intro today. I started off a little bit differently. If you guys liked it, definitely let me know. But for sure, man, let's run through some of these comments because it's a live stream. We're gonna run through the comments. I see you, Amanda. Amanda's in the chat. We got Mantis in the chat. Damien, how's it going, y'all? What is up, everyone? How are you guys going? Iron Death, Heavy Hitter, my homie, VIP Bean Club. A lot of you guys are in that Patreon, man. I'm seeing a lot of you guys showing love. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Got some awesome packs we already sent out. We got some boxes to send out later this week. And some of the new patrons, I got to pack some stuff up and get that sent out for you as well, man. So definitely join up with the ICANN fam, the Patreon fam. And I'm going to have to drop that link for you guys. But most definitely, today is an Autoflower episode, and some of you guys in the ICANN VIP Bean Club would have been getting some autos. So who knows? Maybe this episode would suit you guys as well. I don't know if you guys have ran autos in the past, or if you haven't, but most definitely they are making not even a bit of a comeback. It's just making a general, more prevalent appearance. You're seeing it a lot more. You're looking through your social media, you're seeing a lot of autos, your people are talking about it a lot more. Some breeders exclusively breed autos, so it's just something that you'll run into one way or the other. So today's episode, like I said, is all about autos. So if you got any questions, drop it in the chat. Norma G, how's it going, homie? What is up? We got hipsters and hippies, my bro. I hope everything is going well in your end, man. Happy New Year to everyone in the chat as well. Will Baker, what's going on, fam? Man, all you ICANN fam homies, I love you guys, man. ICANN fam out here. So, dog, I see you as well, dude. I see you. And guys, by the way, just a quick announcement as well. We are going to be doing a live stream once a week, just like this, but on a different day. And on that day, we will be going through stuff from our Discord server. So if you guys want to be featured on that live stream, we will literally be pulling up some of the best fire buds that we can find that you guys have posted. And I'm looking through it right now, and I'm seeing some mad fire. So if you are in the Discord, definitely hop on there, and we will just see some of those beautiful flowers. But David T, today's episode is all about autos, so we're gonna definitely help you guys out as much as we can, and it's all about autos. I actually got a couple things that I want to go through specifically with the autos, so we're gonna get into all that for sure, man. But 100%, Norma G, Discord is rocking. It definitely is, guys. 100%, definitely check that out. I would not lie. I'm gonna just pull it up on screen. Welcome to the Bud Porn Thursday Takedown. Definitely check that stuff out, man. We got a lot of great flowers on there. A lot of people posting some of that heat, and it looks friggin' amazing. So definitely join up on there. Post some of your fire, and I'm gonna grab that link and drop it in the comments for you guys as well. Let me drop that link for the ICANN Fam VIP Bean Club. You guys got some packs went out just last week, so I'm gonna drop that in the comments. And let me grab that Discord link for you guys as well. But for sure, I'm seeing some of the questions coming in for autoflowers. Man, I'm super excited to dig into some of these questions today. It's going to be a rocking motherfucking episode because it's going to be awesome, man. Awesome. So definitely, if you got any questions about the autos, drop it in there. And on a side note, the Discord is rocking, Norma G. So I'm gonna just drop that Discord link. Maybe that Discord link is the wrong one. Let me just grab another one as well. I'm seeing that that one says it's not it's the one. But anyway, so yeah, man, autoflowers are making a lot of a comeback, and long gone are the days when autos are unstable and they're just poor, like the lowrider autos and stuff. But nowadays we got some fire autos, and I think that a lot of the breeders are putting work, time, and care into the autos. So most definitely give that a try. I'm gonna drop the link in the Discord. This link expires in 7 days. This is a new link, so definitely hit that new link and join up on the Discord and invite a friend, tag a friend, do something good for the family. Mary in the chat, I see you, Mary. Aloha. You got some packs coming your way. But most definitely, let's see what is going on here now. We got the Autoflower episode, guys. So let's just dig straight on into it. For those who don't know, autoflowers are pretty much what the name says, autoflowering beans, and those beans produce autoflowering plants, and autoflowering plants literally flower on their own, pretty much after anywhere between 2 weeks to 4 weeks, sometimes even 6 or 8 weeks of growth. But the point is, they flower automatically. You don't got to worry about switching the lighting schedule to initiate or maintain the flowering phase, like you would if you're growing photoperiod strains or anything like that. So a lot of the regs, a lot of the feminized strains that you guys would get, where you actually got to, change your timers and take off the lights at a certain time and put it back on so you can trigger that flowering process. That's all eradicated when it comes to autoflowers. So that's the great part of the autos. And a lot of people love autos for that reason. It's pretty convenient. They don't got to do much. It's like a sort of set it and forget it type thing, and it can be super convenient, especially if you're growing in smaller spaces. Now, because of that shorter veg time, at times you may notice that some autos are not as massive as some of the other autos that you may see out there, which just happens. It happens, and sometimes because of that shorter veg time, you can't escape it. But a lot of the breeders nowadays are able to, you know, extend that veg period a bit, but also get those genes and traits that are in there just to grow a little bit more vigorously. So they phenohunt, a lot more extensively and look for the strains with that vigorous, fast, rapid growth during veg, and they try to use that as a basis for some of their stuff. So that's a little bit of a background as to the autos. Now I've grown a few autos, and they haven't all turned out great, but I have grown some autos that did turn out great. So I would definitely say, if you haven't tried it, definitely give some autoflowers a try. A lot of the ICANN VIP Bean Club members, you guys, I sent out a bunch of autos to you guys, and it's not autos that I bred or anything. It's autos from breeders that actually breed. And 100% you guys will enjoy giving it a try at least once. So the great thing is, like, they need a lot less time to grow as well. So photo periods, you kind of find yourself in situations where, you're running a photo and it's just taking super long to veg. And, then you got to flip the light cycle. And, just by having to flip that light cycle, it actually, extends your veg period just a little bit. I might have to rip a bow. I think I might actually. So it extends your veg period a little bit. And what you want to do is look out for that timing, because if you time it badly, you can put your plants into flower too early and you end up with a super small plant, which is a photo period, but it's about the size of an autoflower anyway, if you get what I'm trying to say. So it's all about patience a lot of the times. And if you don't got patience, then maybe just run with some autos. They'll get you from seed to harvest super quick. In about 2-3 months, you'll be able to be chopping something down. It may not be the biggest, it may be the big ones. I've seen some monster autos. I'm talking some big autos, but it does not always happen that way. So sometimes you just got to look out for it. And I just sort of realized things are not even really on right now. I gotta flick stuff on and everything, man. You guys call me, like, doing this live stream. So let's run through some of these questions when it comes to the autoflowers now, because autos are some great stuff that you guys can get. Before I get into any of the other points that I wanted to talk about, let's see what the chat is saying about the autos. Ooh, NZ Zombie Squad just joined the Discord. Big ups, man. We got a lot of stuff on there. Definitely join up with the Discord fam. Fighter made a live show and made it happen. Yep, this is an absolutely live show. It's a super live show because I'm here with you guys right now. But yeah, so it's all from the Ruderalis plant. That's a great talking point there, Will. Wild Bill. The autoflowers actually stem from the cannabis ruderalis. So ruderalis is actually a subspecies of the plant, which actually have the origins in all of these harsh places, harsh climates and conditions. I'm talking like certain remote places in Asia and mountainous places and just harsh rocky climates and stuff like that. And they train themselves just to flower automatically because they did not have those light cycles like where the long days short nights and then flips around and stuff like that, like regular outdoor growers do in a lot of other places of the world. So they all autoflowers stem from the cannabis ruderalis gene. That's a fantastic point. So if you want to put autos in your veg stand and Z zombies card, that's the great thing to do as well. I also do that as well. Putting autoflowers in your veg tent works out great, especially if you're running photos. You can run the autos along your photos, and that'll help you to get like a really nice harvest, a mix of harvest periods. You flip your stuff to flower later on, and you just have your autos in your veg tent, and they run under the 18 hours light cycle. So on that note, now talking about the 18 hours of light cycle, that is one of the things that a lot of growers ask about. So how long should I run my autoflowers on? I don't need to flip the light cycle on them. So do I just leave them and let them run for 24/7? Do I do the 18/6 thing? Like, what should I do? Is there an issue if I only got one space and I got flowering plants and I have to run my autos under 12/12 because my other photos are under 12/12? Well, those are all great questions, man. 100%. So what I would definitely say is that a lot of the autos love a lot of light. The more light, the better. They don't like bright, harsh light, but I'm talking about light in terms of hours of light that it gets. So you got to learn to distinguish between, just beating your plants with light. Like it's got a light source, the light source is here, the canopy is right here. That's not ideal. That's asking for light burn or light bleaching. So what you want to look out for is that distinction. You really want to give it longer hours of light, more light in that sense. So autos can take as much as 24 hours of light a day. Some auto growers run it under 24 hours of light a day. I believe in giving the plants a little bit of respite, just so that it can recover. I think that's important. And I have no problems running them with 18 hours on, or even 21 hours on. Those two things are somewhere where I would work with. I would not often run on 24 hours on anymore. I mean, I have done it in the past and I've had good results. They do grow, they do flower. You will get them to grow constantly under the light, but I just like a little bit of rest time, as well. So in terms of light cycles, I would say definitely shoot for an 18/6 light cycle if you're just starting out when it comes to the autoflowers. But there's no right or wrong answer to it. If you give it 17 hours, it's nothing's going to happen. And if you really need to put it under 12 hours of light as well, you can definitely do that. But the only thing is that it may not maximize its full potential. So if you were in a situation where you had one veg tent and you had one flower tent and the autos were in the veg tent, you can leave them under the 18 hours of light cycle. That'll be absolutely fine. But if you're in a situation where you got one tent, you only got one tent, so you got a 4x4 tent or a 5x5 tent or even something smaller, and you're flowering and vegging in that same tent, you flip the light cycle and now they're a flower, but you popped an autoflower seed. You can definitely run it in that 12/12 tent. But what I would probably say is just grab a little small light, a cheap little light, and pop it under that light, and if it's just one plant, it will probably work out well for you. There are some decent options out there. I'm not talking about like a big expensive lights. I'm talking about like these single plant bar lights. I use those for like seedling and early veg, and that will actually work pretty well for you. So that's just a pro tip. That's a little hack that I use if I'm in that situation. So I hope that helps for you guys. Now, Cav Bar Jones says, "Don't stunt autoflowers." Shout out to Cav Bar, my homie, man. I love you, much love, brother. Cav Bar has been a long time member of the channel as well. But he says, "Don't stunt autoflowers," and that is 100% accurate, guys. Autoflowers, they are a little bit finicky in that sense, So we've covered like the light cycles and just the differences between autoflowers and photoperiods, so you guys know that the autoflowers flower automatically, and the photoperiods you got to switch the light cycles so that they can flower. We spoke about some of the light cycles and the times that you can use the autos. For me, 18.6 works pretty good, but autos, you always want, a lot of people want to get autos that grow big. Some people complain that sometimes their autos are pretty small. A lot of the times stress triggers early flowering on autos, so that may be a reason why, if you've grown autos and they turned out pretty small, that's probably why. It does happen that they just flower super early. Yes, that happens. But sometimes early flowering is caused by different forms of stress. So, for example, if you're in an auto flower setup and you're growing some autos for the first time, you pop them in and you're thinking they're just like photos. So, I'm pretty much going to just veg them and just let them run, feed them as usual and everything. Those things you need to look at under a different lens, just because you're growing an autoflower. So what I would say is that with autos, less is more. Less is more a lot of the time. Just because autos aren't around for as long as the time as the photo period plants, they naturally just don't grow to the size of some of the photos that the photos can grow. And for that reason, they're on a set time scale. Like, no matter how long you leave an auto to run, it would reach to a point where it just would not get any bigger. It would flower, and the flowers will just start to turn super amber on the trichomes, and you will lose some of the effects that you may be looking for, and some of the sugar leaves will just start to die off. That was pretty much what happens when you push an auto too far. You just leave it and let it run, and you don't harvest it. It just doesn't work out too great for you guys. So for me, that's my experience when it comes to the stressing of the autos. You really don't want to stress the autos. And what I was saying about the beginners trying out the autos for the first time is that you may think it's the same as photos, and you may think it's okay to just go in there, do some heavy stress training, topping, multiple tops, pull those branches down, super crop, and all that stuff. But not all the time, because that can affect the growth of your autos. Autos aren't growing for that long. So for me, what I've found personally is that autos, I just don't do any training at all on them. Most of the time, I literally just pop them and let them grow, and they'll grow straight up. And a lot of the times, autos are formulated so their bottom branches grow out pretty nice, pretty decent. So you'll have a nice, candle looking structure. It will look pretty decent. And most of the time when I try the low stress training, even, no topping or nothing, just a low stress training, I found that, it sort of hurt my yields a little bit. I tried to get lights in lower sections, but those lower sections looked like they would have grown up anyway. So just try them both ways. If you got a pack of autos, try one low stress training and try one not low stress training, and you can see which one you prefer. So most definitely, man, I'm loving this conversation all about autos. The chat is popping off, man. I'm gonna have to jump in the chat and see what's going on. Mr. Awesome Badass, I see you, my bro. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Most definitely, please do hit that like button. Show your boy some love. We need to get 100 likes before the end of the live stream. We always need to hit that 100 like mark. So if you guys can really help us hit that 100 like mark, that would be fantastic. But yeah, man, let's see what else we got going on here right now, because autos are really, they're really, really nice, but they can be finicky, man. I've grown some autos. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? And then I've grown some autos. I was like, ooh, did that just happen? So you can see like the differences when it comes to the autos, man. But autos, yep. Let's see what else is going on. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. The chat is going crazy. We got someone who's trying to do some promotions on the channel. I'm gonna have to ask one of the mods to block that person. But yeah, 100%. Autos are great in big spaces as well, and that is so true. When the lifespan is so short, should we be defoliating that much? I mean, does it take away from the plant's photosynthesis? That's a great question, actually, hipsters and hippies. And guys, just so that I can know who is asking questions and stuff, just for this show, let's put like 3 or 4 question marks before and after, or just before every question. So when I'm scrolling through, I can see them pretty easily, because the chat looks like it's popping off, man. I love you guys, man. I love guys. But for autos, defoliation. When it comes to defoliation, I would err on the side of caution. Personally, autos are robust plants. They will grow any which way you take it. But what you want to do is really just reduce the amount of stress that it gets so that you can increase the amount of yield and your quality of your final product. A lot of stress causes autos to just grow a little wonky sometimes. So for me, I found that light defoliations is great, but I'm talking like super light, man. I'm talking like, you go in there, if there's anything blocking a bud site, maybe just take that one off. But I've been so careful with defoliation. I actually use some LST clips on my fan leaves just to bend them away from the bud sites so I don't actually have to clip the fan leaves. Like, yeah, I was LSTing fan leaves out here just to get them away from the bud sites. So that's it's just something that you guys can try as well. Oh man. Guys, do you guys like this the growers hat, man? Definitely check out some of the diesel dog. Yeah, man. We got the growers tee and stuff, everything on there. It's really nice, man, and I hope you guys support us. Now, let's see what else is going on, man, when it comes to the autos. Now, a lot of people, say there are a lot of pros and cons when it comes to autoflowers, and most definitely they are. So, what are some of the things that people don't like about autoflowers? We know they're super fast and you can get a harvest quickly and all that stuff, but what about the pros, and I mean the cons? What do people not like about them? Well, some of them, they're pretty small. They can be a little bit small, and a lot of times they're a one and done. So what do I mean by it's a one and done? Well, with a lot of the photoperiod strains, you actually can, take cuttings. You can propagate them, you can get them to root, you can keep the strain running. You can have a mother plant and you can keep that mother plant running, So with the autos, because they're one and done, they're on a set life cycle, like I mentioned, set lifespan, if you will. They literally don't have the you can't clone them, pretty much. You just can't clone them. They don't have that genetic buildup, that DNA buildup where you can take cuttings. And you can take cuttings, don't get me wrong, okay? Because a lot of people will jump on here and be like, oh, no, you can most definitely clone an autoflower. Okay, yes, you can take cuttings from an auto. You can probably get it to root, but you cannot re-veg an auto per se and have a second and third harvest and all that sort of stuff with it. It just does not work in that sense. It's on a set time cycle, so wherever you take that cutting, you can take that cutting and you can get it to root, but it's still heading to flower, whatever cycle mama is heading to flower. You get me? So whenever mama goes into flower, I'm probably going to start too, because that DNA is the exact same DNA that you took from the auto. So it's all about the DNA. Once you think of it that way, you're like, oh shit, well, this makes a lot more sense, So always remember that, guys. Always remember that. A lot of people would say, hey, you can clone an auto, but yeah, you'll still be on that set time schedule, right? Now, 100%. Let's see what else is going on in here, man. Are there any questions for you guys? You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. See if we got any of those questions. What is up, Butters and Buds, big homie? What causes the pistils to grow when the plant is about finished? What causes the pistils to grow when the plant is about finished? Well, the plant's natural buildup causes the pistils to grow. So pistils usually start to grow, especially with autos, and they come out super white. They'll come out super white at first, and then over time, some bud mass will build on there, and then over time, those pistils will become less long and skinny and stuff as the bud builds over it, and then they turn from a white to a darker soda color, then it turns to a little bit of amber brown, and eventually that you can use in tandem with the trico method, where you use the microscope, a USB microscope, and you can tell when is the ideal time to harvest. So those are most definitely some of those things on the pistil side of things that you can look at, man. Oh man, let's see what else is going on here. Yo, bro, never big me up. Belly Dawn 420, big ups, bro. Just bigging you up. I just saw that comment, man. The chat is going crazy, man. I'm honestly trying to stay in tune with the chat while I also, just start to give you guys the 411 on some of the autos. To see Paul is in the chat, man. Paul, what's going on, buddy? How's it going, man? Always happy to see Paul, man. 24-0 for seedling stage and then 18-6. That is a great point, man. A lot of people don't know or may just purely overlook it, but you can actually start a lot of seeds straight up with like no dark period, and I've done that a lot of times. So 24 hours of light, at the seedling stage, I just pop them under a light and let them germinate, get out of the soil and everything. And I just leave them for a bit. And then, once it breaks out of that seedling stage, then I hit it at the 18-6, man. And you notice the difference. It really just jumps off. So, yeah, 100%. Another pro, autos are great in small spaces. Absolutely, Mary, 100%. Autos are great in small spaces, and that's one thing that a lot of growers who, probably are growing in like cities or, in small apartment complexes or stuff like that, you can literally pop an auto in, a closet, in a small space. You grow it without even needing to necessarily have it in a tent, and that is another great point of the autos. So they're great for stealthy growers, but I think that one of the great things for autos, personally for me, when I was growing autos and I did not have a setup, that is that it's completely it does not, it does not stress from light leaks. There's no need to light proof or light seal your room or anything like that. It's literally does not get stressed out from light leaks. So autos, you can have them under 18 hours of light if you reduce the light cycle to 12 hours of light, and then increase it again to 18 hours of light, all while it's still in flower, and really fuck around with that light schedule. It's not going to stunt the autoflower. It's not going to cause the autoflower to herm or anything like that. Autos just love light. So however much light you can give the autos, they're just happy to have that light, man. Like, I just want that light. So honestly, that's another great thing about the autos, because I've had situations where I'm literally trying to set up a grow space. You do the DIY thing because you don't want to run a tent. You want to run like the whole space. And it's really difficult to light seal it sometimes. You may have like a little light coming in from somewhere, or if you use part of the room, you got to light seal the other half of the room or something. So that's why tents are really great. But autos, you can literally just pop them anywhere, man. If you got a light somewhere in your house, you can just pop them under the light outside the closet. If there's no one coming by or anything, and it's fine for you to do that, then you can just have it growing right there. Like, it's fine. So autos are like pretty good in that sense. Now, there's a little bit of a myth that some people think auto seeds are always feminized. Okay, now that's just something I also wanted to touch on, because auto seeds can be males as well. You can have male autoflowers, regular autoflowers, males that come from those regs, and those are actually very sought after. A lot of people who look for regs, auto regs. It's if you actually try to look for it, you will probably realize it's not the easiest thing to find. Some people do have it. You can probably find it, but it's not like a lot of the big breeders and stuff like actually carry those stuff. So while a lot of auto seeds are feminized, not all of them are. You just need to just sort of keep that in mind. Sometimes they may be regular autos in that sense, and you can get a male from it, and it will just flower the same way on the same set type cycle and everything as a female would. So that's another great pound for you guys. I see Norma G saying Night Owl did some regular autos recently. Big ups, man. Night Owl's definitely got it going on. So yeah, that's one thing that was a common misconception for sure. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that one. Now let's see if we've got any more. See, we've got a sponsorship in the chat, man. Big ups, man. Congrats, dude. That is awesome, man. Congrats on that sponsorship. That's big, man. That's fantastic. So let's see what else is going on. We got plastic versus fabric, zombie squad. Great question. For autoflowers, that is super important, man. You got to determine what you're planting in. Should I plant in a plastic pot, fabric pot, 5 gallon pot, 1 gallon pot, 6 gallon pot, 10 gallon pot? You got to think about it. For me, personally, I've had success in smaller pots for autoflowers. The larger pots that you get, like I've grown autoflowers in like a 15 and 20 gallon pot, but those pots were just too big for my autoflower. The auto literally just did not fill the pot. The root mass did not fill the entire pot, and you find yourself running into situations where you may overwater or over fertilize just because you got a bigger pot with a lot more soil mass in there. So definitely think about your pot size. If you can be in there, watering a little more frequently, if you don't want to water as frequently, then these are all things you got to think about. If you're a person that waters really heavily with a heavy hand, then you definitely need to think about that. So there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to plastic or fabric pots. It's all about your preference, your setup, and your environment. But personally, I recently ran some autos in some of the smaller pots, like 1, 2, 3 gallons, and I've had decent success with them. And they were just easy to maneuver and stuff. But the pots did dry out pretty quick with the 1 gallon ones. I was in there watering like every day. So again, you got to be mindful, and if you're doing like an organic style setup as well, the organic system in a 1 gallon pot could probably just dry up, and you can find it really hard to maintain it as easily you might find yourself having to use bottle and liquid nutrients and stuff like that. So 100%. Great questions, guys. Jeremy White in the house. What is up, fam? Kind of fam. So yes, guys, 100%. We got some great questions. Let's see what else is going on. When do you change from veg to bloom when autos come to fertilizer? Great question, Belly Don. That is a fantastic question. So a lot of people usually look around on their manufacturers' guidelines because there are certain nutrient feeding regimens out there that can give you the full thing. You don't need to actually change during veg or flower. So it all depends on what you're using. But if you're using one of those ones where you actually got to make the switch, I would probably say, first off, start off quarter strength with every nutrient line you're using, especially if you're using bottle nutrients. Start off with quarter strength because autos don't like a lot of nutrients. They don't need a lot of nutrients. They're not around for a long time, and they're literally like nutrients that just get left over in the soil and stuff like that. You just end up wasting your money feeding nutrients they wouldn't use. So you can also burn your plants overfeeding, and that causes them to stunt and affects your growth and yields. So most definitely start off quarter strength, I always say. And when you look to switch is when you start to see the pistils appear. So personally, when I see those pistils first appearing, you may get a little bit of a pre-flower stretch around that time. But if you're using the liquids, it's perfectly fine to start to transition around that time. You can probably give it a couple of days when you see some of the pistils start to form, see how stretchy and long it gets with the veg growth, and then switch it to some flower feeding. So there's no right or wrong answer, but you really just got to look for the pistils. Those pre-flowering pistils are a sign that your autoflower is transitioning from veg to flowering. So you got to literally look out for those pistils. For me, I'm always in there. I'm like, okay, have you got any pistils today? No? Okay, good. We're still in veg. Got a nice plant coming along. Because sometimes you may have the plant super small and you're not looking along or thinking at all that, it's going into flower soon. It might be this small, but when you look there and you notice like, oh shit, it's actually got some pre-flowering pistils, at that point, the plant has probably reached its maximum height. So just something to think about, guys. Yep, Kronk for Bonnie and Clyde. That is so true. And hit that discount code ICANTHC if you do, because those Bonnie and Clyde fertilizers are actually meant for autoflowers. So I think it's a two-part system, man. And we had them on here. Check out the Talkin podcast as well. Yep, man. Let's see what else we got going on here right now. Now, if you guys got any questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. We got some great questions coming from you guys. What's the code? What causes the THC crystal to disappear on the buds and the smell to kind of go away? Oh, that sometimes happens when the plant has passed its peak. In my experience, man. So when you run an auto, for example, or you're running a photo period as well. I've actually done this to photo periods as well on purpose to see what happens. And if you're running a photo period and let's say, you've checking the trichomes every day and, you see them go from clear to cloudy to amber, most people would cut at that, amber cloudy phase, but if you leave it past and everything is amber, and then it's just still going, the plant is still going, and you just refuse to cut it, but leave it under that 12-12 light cycle, it starts to stress itself out to the point of no return, like literally. It thinks that, it's just going to the point of no return. I need to start to do things, and all the smell will disappear. Some of the crystals on the flowers that you saw looking nice and stuff like that, they just start to disappear. They literally look like they faded away and just ran away and gone. They're just gone, So that a lot of the times that happens when you push something past the peak of the harvest point. A lot of plants have a recommended harvest time. You can go a little bit past it, but if you just leave it, like say you forgot your plants in flower and you went away somewhere and you couldn't get back home or whatever, and you came back home, or you just purposefully leave it to see how long it can go, that's probably what'll happen. So that happened to me quite a few times, man. 100%. This is a great autoflower session, man. You guys are really dropping some fire questions, and I'm having a great time kicking it with you guys. So smash the freaking like button for that. That is something real dope, man. Now, another thing that you guys need to look out for, or just at least think about, is that the autoflowers, because they're not around for such a long time, you don't want to have anything inhibiting root growth. Root growth is something that's super important. We know that you guys should be using Dynamyco, mycorrhizal inoculants, stuff like that. That stuff really helps to boost the root network. But what I'm talking about is your actual grow medium. So I've literally grown autos and photos both in like very thick, heavy mediums. For autoflowers in particular, you really want to try to get a light medium, because those roots, they don't have a long time to grow and really get as robust as other photoperiod plants would. So you really want to have a light medium. I'm talking you can mix it up with some potting mix, perlite, mix some cocoa peat in there, maybe some pumice. I know Cat Bar is a big fan of pumice. So there are a lot of different things that you can use, but you just want to make sure that medium is light and aerated and water can flow through it. You don't want like to be pouring water on and it just bounces off the top, almost like some of your garden soil outside. Like that's not ideal. And so you definitely want to think about that. For autos, you want some of that light, well draining soil. Make sure that the soil is even lighter than what you use for some of those photoperiod plants. Like if you need to amend your soil with like any of those things like perlite or pumice or anything like that, just to increase some airiness in the soil, airiness and drainage. Like those two things are super important when it comes to autos. So for sure, don't overlook that one, and definitely grab that stuff on wherever you can at your local garden store, and just make it a nice light, fluffy mix. Like just put your hand in it, and just tilt it around like that, and you get something feeling really good. Now let's see what else we've got here on the chat, man. You guys have got some great questions. I'm having a great time going, back and forth with some of the questions and actually jumping back across to what I want to talk to you guys about. So yeah, let's what's your favorite auto you've grown? Matt, Civic grows, Civic, my friend. My favorite auto I've grown personally was the I actually grown a couple, but the one that I probably would say was the tastiest, man, was the Lilac Diesel Auto from Ethos Genetics. That one, and I got a pack of like a couple of them. I think I got like three of them, and only one lived. Like the other two, like I just haven't had the greatest of luck with some of the autos from Ethos. I don't know why, but that one that did live, it was really frosty and nice, So yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here, man. If you guys have got any more questions, be sure to drop it in the chat. Ooh, we hit 100 likes, guys. If you die, guys, smash the like button. If you're watching this on the replay, still smash the like button. We need to get this to the 1,000 likes. That's what's up, man. And yeah, man, the Diesel Dog Growers hat. I saw one of the homies asking about it in the comments, but the Diesel Dog, these hats will be on the website soon. We got the tees on there right now. So you guys definitely check out www.dieseldogclothing.com. That's just some of the stuff I'm trying to bring to you guys. It's literally just me doing it. All the designs I try to work on them, in my spare time, and I work on it myself. And if you guys want to support, definitely just cop a t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that, and that'll be fucking awesome, man. So let's see what else we got here now when it comes to some of these autos and stuff, man. I always head down to share with you guys and see what we got going on. Ooh, the Thug Rose. I got the Thug Rose as well, bro. Don't forget to like, smash, and comment. But what's the average dry yield on an auto? Well, a lot of people, they just accept the fact that autos don't yield as much. But I've heard some crazy stories where autos have yielded some massive amounts. But all that said, in my personal experience, I tend to yield, an ounce, maybe two or three off an auto. I don't often, go past 4 ounces personally when it comes to autos. Maybe it's just the way I grow them. Maybe it's just the autos I've grown. Maybe it's just me and I suck as a grower. But I just don't always have the massivest auto yields. For sure, you can like photo periods take a beating. You can go in there, train them, manipulate them, do all sorts of stuff to them, and really increase your yields. But when it comes to the autos, they're just on that set time schedule, man. And any little thing that stresses them out can cause them to go into early flowering. And that in itself is a lot of the times a headache. Just seeing your auto go into early flowering, sometimes it can be a little bit painful. So that's what I would say for me. I would not I have no there's no one answer fits all, but a lot of people have different answers. Like I'm seeing Scott Budlove, half a P, for me it's more like a QP, but a lot of people have different answers to it. But yeah, let's see what else we got going on here. Ooh, Civic got 223 grams off his last auto. That is fantastic. And high again be pulling 8 to 12 ounces off their biggest autos. Yeah, they got some nice autos. And I've never ran any of those night owl or Mephisto autos just yet. So maybe I need to try them and my luck will be completely different. Now, autos, guys. Today's episode is all about autos. Smash the like button. I have not ripped a bowl just yet, so I think I'm gonna have to do that. But I want to talk to you guys as well about outdoor growers because a lot of outdoor growers grow autos, and there are a lot of people out here who don't have an indoor setup and who literally grow outdoors. Maybe because it's where you live in. If you're living somewhere in the Caribbean or if you're living somewhere maybe out in Cali that has a lot of sun and stuff like that, you just grow outdoors. Like why? Just grow outdoors, bro. So when it comes to outdoor growers, it's very, very important, guys, that uh you try to maximize the amount of light your plants get. So if you're in the soil, if you're in the earth, if you're in the ground, you can't move your plants, obviously. But if you can set up some sort of supplemental light that you can turn on, outdoors, that would be awesome. You know, fantastic. Especially if where you're at, you get like 12 hours of light a day. Like I was out in the Caribbean, I got no winters ever, but I did not get the longest days. I would not have 18 hours of light a day ever out there. So it's almost always like a 6 to 6 light cycle. So that's 12 hours of light a day. And a lot of growers buy auto beans and grow them outside and wonder why they turn out so small. Well, it's because they need a longer veg period. They need a lot of time when it comes to veg. So if you can give it that supplemental light, that'll be great. I literally seen people who had grown autos outdoors in pots. They move them into garages and stuff where they got a little light. That could work great for you. If you're growing outdoors in pots as well, maybe you can, or even in the ground, maybe you can set up a light on, some sort of wooden structure or something. Just run an electrical cord or whatever you need to do. Set up some electric. Probably don't cause a fire, but set up some sort of electrics and sort of see if you can run a light, and that'll help it. Just to avoid any early veg, early flowering situations. So outdoor growers, you can most definitely grow outdoors. You can grow autos outdoors, but you're literally at the mercy of the outdoor seasons a lot of the time. So just keep that in mind. Oh man, great episode today on friggin' everything auto, man, everything auto. Jack Frost, I'm just honest, man. I'm always just trying to be real with you guys, be as real as you guys as possible. So I give you guys exactly how I get it, how I feel it, and what it is straight up. Mary, outdoors growing period outdoors. I know. I'm not a good outdoor grower either, man. I always run into pest issues. Uh, I'm not a fan of those outdoor growers with pests. But guys, if you got any questions on the autos, definitely drop it in the questions in the comments. Let me see it. Billy Don, please answer my question. I'm not seeing where your question is, man. I got to run through some of these questions. The chat is popping off. Don't get upset if I don't see a question, man. But I'm running through it. Can you put certain traps in the soil to lock the trees because in cannabis? I'm not sure what that means, bro. Can you re-ask it and just I'm gonna check it out in the bottom. But let me grab that Discord link for you guys to see. Crip River is asking for the Discord link. If you get for all you people who missed out in the earliest, man, we're definitely gonna have a new segment on the show, literally, where we're gonna be going through every week doing a live stream just like this, and we'll be going through the Discord, right? And on Discord, there's a lot of fire on that Discord. We're gonna call it the Thursday Toke Down or just Bud Porn. I just don't know which one yet. But it's gonna be fire, man. And we got so many people posting some serious gasoline on there, man. Like pure fire, straight up fire. Some of you guys are growing some awesome friggin' plants, man. And big ups to all you guys because you guys have really got some fantastic green thumbs. And if I'm helping you guys at all, then I'm happy, man, because some of that fire is crazy off the fucking chart, bro. No lie. So if you think you're growing some fire and you can compete with some of these guys, then drop it in the comments. Hit up that Discord link and see what's going on out there and post some of your goals, man. Because every week we're going to be going through these with you guys, and that's what it's going to be on, man. ADHD, what episode is the Bonnie and Clyde episode on, man? That's the Kronk Nutrients episode. So you could just type in Talking Loud podcast, Kronk Nutrients, and it should come up, man. Or just talk Kronk Talking Loud podcast, and it will come up, man, and you will see it for sure. Now, Important question. When we get in the Three Doobies live stream, we definitely need to get that going, man. I reached out to him. We're supposed to be getting that done, man. That was supposed to be like a once a month thing. Like, I don't know what's going on with these man. But I'm gonna definitely hit him up and we gonna see what's going on, man, for sure. So, has anyone grown SoFam autos? Do they grow tall or medium, Mister Just Coolin? I've grown some SoFam autos. I'm sure some people in the chat may have as well. But the SoFam autos I've seen literally grew to nice size. They had some nice lateral branching and stuff. I did not train them, so I did not do any topping or low stress training or anything like that. I just let them grow naturally. I gave them a nice amount of light, and I had it in a nice, well aerated medium. I didn't have the light source too close. No, the trick with autos, like you want a little bit of stretch sometimes, just because autos literally go through veg so fast. Sometimes you can get a small plant, so it is nice to get a little bit of stretch during veg. So what I do when I'm growing autos is that sometimes I would reduce the brightness on my lights just a little bit, or I would raise the light source just a little bit. So that way, that out of the plant will stretch toward the light, and I get some of that wider internodal stacking, and that way a lot of the buds don't overshadow each other, and you don't end up with a small scroggly looking plant, So that's just a pro tip for everyone, man. Now, Arcastic, lots of stuff to increase chirp production, not just genetics, 100%. There are a lot of stuff out here that you can use out here, man. Now, THC tone genetics is another good one, underrated. I haven't heard of that one, man. I honestly haven't heard of that one. Now, some people may wonder, can you grow fems and autos in the same room? Can you grow, your photos and autos in the same room? Now, we did touch on that a little bit earlier. You can grow them in the same tent and everything. Autos just like to get a lot more light in terms of lengths of light that they get and stuff like that, the length of hours of light that they get per day. So when your plants go into flower, if you got autos in there, it may not be as ideal as it would have been otherwise, so that's definitely something just to think about. But it is, something that you can do 100%. You can most definitely grow them both in the same room. You can have autos and photos in the same tent flowering. Autos don't get affected by light leaks or anything like that. Now, let's just move on, man. Let me just double check and see if there's a little bit more about anything when it comes to some of these comments. Any more comments real quick before I go on to the next topic? Okay, the next topic, guys, I just want to touch on optimal temperature and humidity, man, because these two things are also very important when it comes to autos, as with photos, but in particular the autos, because you don't have the forgiveness period that you get with photos. The forgiveness period when you fuck up with the photos, and you can be like, oh shit, and you just leave it for a little while in veg and it'll just fix itself. Well, autos, not really, my dude. That ain't gonna happen. So you definitely don't want to run into issues where you just fuck shit up like that. And optimal temperature and humidity for growing autos is ideal, man. So you got to keep your grow room temperatures at a moderate. Most times 21 degrees Celsius is ideal. That's room temperature in a lot of places. Sometimes if you're in a colder climate, that may be a little bit warmer for you, but if you drop it a little bit, it's no issue at all. Like, it's a little bit colder where I'm at now and no issues at all. But too much cold or too much excessive heat can cause your autos to stunt, right? So that can cause growing problems straight up. Like, excessive heat will cause them to, like, they're just sweltering in the heat and they just feel like they're suffocating and they can't grow. And if there's excess humidity, it can also cause the same thing. So especially during flower, you want to avoid the excess humidity. During early veg, it's fine. A little bit more humidity, it's fine. Plants actually like that. During seedling stage, it's actually necessary. But when you get to the flower stage, avoid too much humidity. That can cause bud rot, and it can cause mold on your flowers. So you really want that optimal humidity. And the optimal humidity, like I said, depends on your plant's age. In the first few weeks, they prefer a more humid environment. So seedling stage, veg stage, they like humidity. Humidity can be around 70%, 60%, anywhere around there is fine. But if you're in 70%, 60% in flower, you're in trouble. When you're moving toward flower, you want to drop it down to around 40%, 50%. That's more like it, because if not, you can get mold, you can get bud rot, you can get powdery mildew, and that sort of stuff will definitely ruin your crop, and it will hurt you, man. It will definitely hurt you in the heart. So, talking from experience with that one. But Dad's Tent is in the house. What up, Dad's Tent? I see you, homie. Thank you for tuning in, man. Now we got another question. What's the light distance for autos? Shout out Taka. The light distance for autos, it varies, man. So, like I would have just mentioned, with certain autos, especially during early veg, I try to keep the lights not too close, because the closer the lights are, the tighter your internodal stacking will be. Internodal stacking is pretty much where the branches come off of the main branch. So sometimes with autos, it's nice to have one like down here and say one like higher up here. But sometimes if you got internodal stacking, which is super tight, you can have them stacking like literally one on top of each other. And at that point, some of those branches can't breathe. Some of those branches can't get light. Some of those branches will literally just be outshadowed by other branches. And that sucks vital energy and nutrients from the plant. So the plant is trying to power all these branches, which are getting overshadowed and crowded out, a lot of the times with some of those tight internodal stackings, and you'll have to go in there and probably trim them off anyway, do some heavy defoliation. And autoflowers don't like tons of stress. So when you do that, each cut is stress being made, and each cut needs to be repaired by the plant. Even when you cut off fan leaves, every single cut that you make, the plant needs to send resources across there to mend that cut, to heal it up. So I personally try to go for a slightly higher light. I put the light source a little higher, or just reduce the brightness a little bit during veg, and then during flower, I gradually turn it up a little bit as the buds begin to form. So that's how I move with it, man. But 100%, great question. So perfect. Now let's see what you guys have got in the comments, because you got some great questions going on here, man. I see Sean Brooks in the house. What up, Sean? Let's see what is up. How's it going, my homie? Now let's see if you guys have got any more questions, because we had a great episode so far, man. And it's all about autos, man. Everything all about autos. Now Rastakir is actually asking, how do you keep a perpetual auto grow, and how much time between each plant before planting the next? So for me, auto grows, it depends on your plant count, of course, man. I'm not telling anyone to go over their plant counts here, but for me, auto grows, when you keep a perpetual auto grow, it's a lot easier than a photo grow, simply because like with the photo grows, you got to like do the light cycle change and have plants and veg and all that stuff. But with autos, you just got to keep popping new autos. So all you got to do is pop a new auto every month. You can pop one or two this month, or you can pop even three this month, and then or pop three more next month. But it all depends on your plant count. If you're allowed like 12 plants, you could probably do 3 3 3 3 3 3 3, and do it like that. And then after every 3 months, you'll be harvesting something. I almost said like harvest, like a real Irishman. After 3 months, you'll be harvesting something. But it definitely works out, man. So 100%. You can stagger it like that. That's the word they use. You can stagger your germinations and your harvest. Great guys, Joshua Parker. I really missed you too, man. Really missed you too. Oh man, let's see what else is going on here, guys. We got some great questions for you guys. And now, does lowering the temperature on autos change anything in flower? Growing indoors, yeah, you can control the temperature. Great question, Smoking. And it can affect just certain things. If it goes too low, it can slow down processes in the plant. Certain processes cannot be carried out by the plant. But I'm talking if you drop way too low, like if it's like snow temperatures and stuff like that. But if you just drop the temperature gradually, it's a little chilly, with 16 degrees Celsius or something like that, nothing is really going to happen. You may see some nice purple colors come out. Sometimes the plants pull out a lot more and anthocyanins and stuff like that when temperatures drop, so you get a lot more colors and stuff like that. Like personally, I've grown a couple of strains during the summertime, and the same strains grown during the winter time, I just see a lot more color to them. Something that's purple in winter is like green in summer, just because it's a lot warmer. So the temperature does affect it in all plants. But if you lower it too much, it can slow down those processes. So you don't want it to get like near freezing point or anything like that. If you got an outdoor greenhouse, sometimes snow falls and stuff, you're really worried about the greenhouse. It can get super cold in those situations, man, and it may just slow things down a little bit, man. But 100%, man. Fantastic questions. This Autoflower segment is fan-friggin-tastic. We really punched through some great questions with you guys. Now some people ask about training and topping and stuff like that. And I told you guys personally my views on the training and topping. I don't do a lot of the training or topping. There are strains out there, though, I want to say that do take training and topping very well when it comes to autoflowers. So you definitely want to just determine whether the strain you're growing is one of the strong ones, I guess, and you can only learn that with experience or by seeing what other growers have grown the strain and have done. But that said, if you're just starting out for the first time, just let the autoflower grow, man. You're probably growing a photo period and you're training the shit out of it because when you first start off, you want to increase yields and you train the shit out of your plants anyway. But just take it easy. Just let the plant grow. Literally, just let the auto grow, and you will realize like it's a hands-off approach with the autos a lot of the time, and it doesn't turn out half bad. You got a nice main cola. Some of the smaller colas really stretch out and get nice as well. Or you can train the auto. You can try to top it, low stress train, and it turns out super small, and then you're just like, screw autos. Like, fuck that shit. I'm good on that shit, and I don't want to do it anymore. So don't put yourself in that little box. Don't box yourself in and think that just because you overly train the shit out of them. Now, let's see. Ozzy Otto's asking. Ozzy Otto, nice to see you, man. Always happy to see you. What's the best low stress training clips to use? I've used a lot of them, man. Honestly, I've used a lot of different ones. I've used some of the 3D printed ones. Some of them work. They snap off and break sometimes. Just after time. I've also tried like some of the other shits. I can't even remember the names of them, but I've settled pretty much on like Bud Trainer, man. Bud Trainer's got some good LSD clips. Definitely check out Bud Trainer's Instagram. They got like videos and stuff on there. They got pictures, and use the discount code ICANTHC on Bud Trainer, and you can snag a little discount on those LSD clips, man. But honestly, I can't see life without LSD clips anymore. That's all I use to train my plants. Honestly, I swear to God. I don't do much else. Sometimes I may use like a single plant scrog or something like that, but LST clips all the way, dude. LST clips for the win, man. That's definitely what I use, and I ain't looking back, man. I don't tie down shit at all anymore, man. You could miss me with that shit, bro. I ain't popping holes in my plant pots and tying strings and shit. Hey, man, miss me with that, bro. So LST clips, man. Now, heat stress is a great point, Cav Bar. That's what that can cause foxtailing. A lot of times heat stress causes foxtailers on your flowers. So for those who don't know, foxtailing is pretty much a funky weird mutation on your flowers, which causes them to foxtail, and it literally causes them to look like the tail of a fox. So your bud, instead of looking nice and cylindrical and fat like this, it may look more like this, if that makes sense. With foxtails, this is a pretty good example. So instead of your bud looking like this, like a nice nug, it'll literally just look like sort of like this, and it'll just have these weird like stringy, strandy pieces on there. That's called the foxtail. And a lot of times it can be genetic, sometimes, but a lot of the times it's heat stress related. It's your environment. So if you got an issue with foxtailing, look at your environment first, dial in your environment, especially if other people that you've seen who grown that strain did not have it look like any foxtail issues or anything like that. It's probably your environment, man. So 100% definitely look out for your environment. Like, I can't stress that enough. Humidity, temperature, the amount of heat that's in there, and use things like ventilation systems, oscillating fans, inline fans, exhaust fans, carbon filters, any of those things that you can use. You can even pair some of them up, and that way you can really get the temps dialed in, humidity, and some of those things you can even just manage on your phone. You just grab your phone and you can dial everything in from your phone. So it really works great, man. It really does work great. Now let's see what else we got going on here, man. Because 100%, I think that we've touched on a lot of different things when it comes to the autos, and we had a great friggin' episode. Guys, smash the friggin' like button, man. We had a great episode. Keep it coming, man. Great vibes out here, as everyone says. We always know that shit, man. 100%. Is it too late to add silica during late flowering for autos? I'd probably hold off on adding any silica during late flowering for the autos. Probably just because it's late in flower, it doesn't have that much time to really, do too much with it. Have you used air pots at all? Thoughts compared to fabric? I have not actually used air pots. I'm not a huge fan of fabric pots, but that said, Grassroots Fabric Pots has some banging fabric pots that they have actually dealt with a lot of the issues that I had with fabric pots, like stuff leaking out the bottoms and the sides. They fix all those issues. So Grassroots Fabric Pots are freaking great. But yeah, 100%. Silica helps with plant stress. Yep, you know it. Yeah, guys, smash the freaking like button, man. I think we had a banging episode, man. We went through every single thing that we needed to with autos. We had a lot of different things. Maybe the only last thing that I can just talk about is, watering. Just don't overwater your autos. Don't put too much water in them. They're not around for a long time. They're smaller. They got a smaller root system. They just drink a lot less water than photoperiod plants. So don't friggin' overwater them. Allow the soil or your medium to dry out. Not completely dry out, but just dry out a little bit so you don't have a super saturated medium and you're still watering and stuff like that, man. And as always, the pH level should be, anywhere between 6 and 7. If you're in soil and stuff like that, 5.5, 6.5. If you're in DWC or whatever, you can use pH up or down products and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, we had a banging episode, great episode. We ran through a lot of different things when it comes to the autos. Bud Trainers also got fabric pots as well. I don't have a code for grassroots. I seen the episode. I'm gonna reach out to him, see if I can get a code for you guys. And yeah, man, we touched on a lot of different things when it comes to autos. Drop it in the comments and let me know what sort of autos you're growing. If you're watching a replay, drop it in the comments. Let me know what sort of autos you're running, man. I want to find out what sort of autos you guys are running. I got some autos I haven't tried yet, and I got some fire autos that all you VIP Bean Club members will be getting very soon. Some already went out, man. So hopefully you guys will enjoy those, man. But without further ado, I think we touched on every freaking thing that we had to. Smash the like button because we had a great episode. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys pretty soon. Stay high and stay fly. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.